All right, good morning. Welcome to sunny Bangkok, or is it massive flood Bangkok? So, yeah, it has been historic flooding here. When I arrived, the water was up to the tires of the taxi. And last night, when I went for a walk, like I always do, just to kind of scout it out, see what the op is, do my John Wick kind of thing. It really gave me this Blade Runner vibe. So you have this, Pacific, because Blade Runner takes place in the future where there's future, it's an Asian country, neon signs everywhere. You have, ladies of the night, uh, all the different kinds of negative parts of society with umbrellas, and everybody's just eating their ramen and different kinds of noodles. And that's exactly what it feels like when you come out here. So it's about 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. I get up early. I keep a routine. So my routine is get up, only eat fruit, smoothies, and 2 eggs with toast. So they had this big buffet. It was like 500 baht. It's not worth it when you only eat fruit and 2 eggs. 500 baht is that's way too expensive. Um, I got this hotel for super cheap. Not to disrespect or anybody, but there was a really bad earthquake that happened here about, I don't know, a couple months ago, and the prices dropped, and I was able to get this place, which is a very high-end hotel, for a very good bargain. I don't like that it was at the expense of other people, but it is what it is. Sometimes you just make the best of a bad situation. So, anyways, let me guys give you a proper viewing. Okay, yeah, that's just the color. I'm on the other side, facing the other side. I usually have the room I prefer is on the other side. It's more neon and lit up, but yeah. You got a swimming pool and all that stuff on the other side, a spa, jacuzzi, massage, different basketball courts. You got everything. Let's see if I can see the M train. I think the M train's on the other side. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a little thing you could bounce on right there. What's that thing called? That's the smoking area. So, people there to smoke the ganji, that American grass, that's legalized here. The one thing I don't like about this hotel is the windows. So I can't really tell how deep you can see into the window right next to you. But I noticed last night as I was doing some work, there was a light. Somebody had a light right next up to the. And they're obviously watching me at my 1 o'clock high. That window right there, and I caught them and I flipped them off. So a light on, and they were shining through, probably trying to see, because I keep my windows open at night. You want to see the beautiful sun or beautiful cityscape. So I saw these lights, and I was just like, like F you. And they turned off their lights and panicked. You got to be careful. There's so much scams, so many scams. There's so many people that will. I'm always on my guard here. Always on my guard. The thing about this place is that you're surrounded by vice. Okay, I made a long video about that, which I don't know if I'm going to post because I don't want to offend people. But you're surrounded by vice. You're surrounded by temptation that will break even the strongest of wills. I made a whole video last night explaining that for me, luckily, it's not about it's not about getting, it's the chase. And it's always about, for me personally, the woman that is off limits. The woman that is, she's so high class. She's so elegant. She's so beautiful that most men just won't even try. They think that there's no way they have a chance with this woman, right? That's the kind of girl I like. I don't like these girls that are just sitting out there wearing little mini skirts and just throwing it at you. For one, that's not a woman in my opinion, but even just the girls that use their bodies as a way of, you know, playing men. You know, once you're able to bypass that in your brain, or, you know, fix the wiring where you're not controlled by that, you actually find more beauty in a conservative woman who less is more. You know, leaves more for the imagination. So you have this beautiful, let's say, like hostess who works at a hotel. You know, very classy, very elegant, wearing these very beautiful dresses, or some beautiful Vietnamese girl working at a hospital or whatever, name some store. So, those are that's that's beauty, that's the fun, that's what I prefer. I've always liked to chase. I don't really care about capturing. What I mean by capturing is I have no intent to throw away my life, my health, my safety by any of these pleasures, any of these identity threats, your information being stolen, the observation through thousands of cameras, and you're being monitored by everybody. Like, if you come overseas, okay, just remember this, all right? It's no longer this big playground that your granddaddy told you about, where you could just do anything you want. From the moment you get off that plane, you're being observed, you're being watched. They know where you stay at. They know what you're doing. So if you're some 18-year-old, 20-year-old college kid coming out here to party, sleeping around, drinking, making a fool of yourself, they know. If you're some 50-year-old man coming out here and thinking that you could, cheat on your wife, trust me, they know. And they're probably going to blackmail you. Somebody will find that information. If you come out here to partake in the smoke, then trust me, they'll know. You have to, let me give you advice from somebody who travels the world, okay? You need to proceed as if everything you do is being watched. There's a log kept to everything you do. That way, when you expect everything, then nothing can hurt you. Anyways, I just wanted to show, I'm in my John Wick gear this morning. Yesterday I didn't dress up as much, but I'll show you. I'm going with the jeans, the tie. Been working out, so I'm getting a little bit more bulk on me. I don't know if I'm gonna do the vest. I got the dress shoes on. Lost a lot of weight. Been eating healthy. So yeah, it's a big difference from what I used to look like. Let's see if I can get in the picture here. Big difference from what I used to look like 5 years ago. That's that healthy eating. That's that healthy eating. So Bangkok. It's always an adventure of patience and staying out of trouble. And another thing, another word of advice for you, okay? The Thai people, very friendly. Just your average, normal day Thai person, right? Man, woman, come from a very beautiful culture, very friendly culture. But you got to remember, don't come out here thinking you're Billy badass. I don't want to cuss. Thinking you're some, hard ass. I'm just gonna say it. This is where Muay Thai comes from. These guys out here know how to fight. I've seen a lot of drunk guys as I roam these streets mapping. And what I do is I do grid searches, right? So, for example, I'll do a grid search, and you just work yourself in squares. Work yourself in squares, city blocks, until you got a grid. So then you'll have this part, mapped out. And then you'll just do the same thing. Find a starting point, go in squares. There's different ways you could do it, but the point is that you can never get lost, and you expand it as you go. Then you'll just say it's raining, but anyways, in my walks, in my adventures, I've seen a lot of drunk Westerners and foreigners who think they're really tough because they watch MMA come out here and get humbled by guys who actually created that whole Muay Thai fighting, and guys that might be half your height, some of them, and those guys will freaking destroy you. And it gives me a certain amount of pleasure to watch impolite Westerners get their comeuppance, to get what they deserve. Your arrogance and your disrespect of this country and this culture, well, you deserve to be humbled. So, point in his kids is stay out of trouble, behave yourself. Remember, when you're pursuing adventure, enlightenment, knowledge, whatever reason it is that you are trying to heal, trying to not let your past define you, whatever reasons you have to come out to do this kind of life here. 2 rules, but I could say 3. But one of them is you are a guest. Imagine this whole city is somebody's house. And do you walk in somebody's house with your shoes on? Well, in the West, I guess you do, but in Asia, you don't. Shoes are left over. And number 2, do you take a pee on somebody's couch? Do you take a wee on somebody's? No. Do you leave your trash out? No, you don't. So, always but always conduct yourself as if this was somebody's house. This whole city, this whole culture. Be a good expat. Being a good expat means you follow the rules, okay? If you follow the rules, if you follow the laws, you stay up with your visa runs, you don't drink alcohol, you don't mess around with anything illegal, you don't fight. If you follow the rules, you will have a good experience. This can be your life, as it's been my life for nearly over half a decade. Yeah, there's been times I'm starving, and then there's times when I'm sitting in a nice room that I got a good deal on. I guess we could say there's up times and bad times. It was a lot harder in the beginning. Also, if you find somebody that you care about, that also changes the whole thing. If you get into a relationship out here, then you need to think that you represent your country to that girl. That you want her to see the best of your country. So my American audience, okay? Say you're dating a Vietnamese girl or a Thai girl, Chinese girl, whatever. You want them to see what really you are, not what they've been told. And trust me, a lot of certain countries have been told how we are. Americans are very carefree. We're very funny, carefree, but we get the job done, right? But that could be mistaken as arrogance, and it's not. As I explained many times, that there was this famous South Korean general who spoke about special units in the military that he worked with the Americans, and how these guys were twice as big as him, and monsters, but they would always joke around, and they always had a sense of humor, and they would not take things seriously until it was time to go time. When it was time for the mission, they were professionals to the point where they were the best in the world, where you would be in awe. But that could come off as very off-putting and arrogant to cultures that are all about you must assimilate, you don't stick out, you go with the flow. It's all about face. And that is what this country is about here, or this region of the world is. It's all about face. Face means reputation, all about preserving your dignity in front of others. Thai people, Vietnamese, Laos, Cambodian, everybody don't want to lose face. It's very important. whereas Westerners, we're very individualistic. We'll do what we want. We are kind of eccentric, and we see that as a sense of like strength. The more you are willing to just be yourself, even at the expense of being judged by others, because you don't care. You realize that you only have one life, and you don't need to put on this big show, this big parade for others. People will respect that, admire that, because you are given that luxury and that F word that I won't say, just because I don't want to offend anybody, and I always have to speak in code, but the things that Westerners are entitled to that other people aren't starts with F. Yeah, the land of the. Not to say that there isn't here, but not to the extent of back home. I mean, we're sitting around with our ARs, and you could burn your own flag in your own country, but here you do. Certain places in the world here get yourself in trouble. But anyways, 16 minutes. This was just a good morning. I haven't had a coffee yet. I'm waiting on housekeeping so that I can get some coffee and get my day started. So 2 minutes and we're out. So thank you guys. In Thailand, you always bow. It's one of my favorite things about Thai culture. So you always do this. Okay. And you say Sawadidi or Sadid, Swadidi, something like that. Swadidi, thank you. Swadidi, Sawabadi, Sawade. It's thank you. It's like Gamon Ban in Vietnamese. Anyways, love you guys. Thank you all. It's good to be doing some travel videos lately. It's good to be having a couple good days. They don't always happen, but when they do, it's refreshing. How long will the day stay good? I don't know. I'm hoping that there's a movie maybe playing at the theater. I want to see that movie, not Thunderbolts, not Warfare. There's another movie I wanted to see, so we'll see if we can see it. So I requested early housekeeping, so I gotta go. So see you guys. Bye.